Okay, so what we got here. So we're going to go over your daily mood chart that we tried out. And you said you printed off more of these, right?
Yeah.
How many more did you print off?
7.
7 of them. Heck, for sure.
Probably more of them. Once I get,
Have you used any more of them?
No.
No. Okay.
Unfortunately.
Hey, from what I can tell, this is filled out like perfect. It's awesome. I like that you put in like the actual like notes, like feeling apprehensive and like in the like what was going on. Because
big word. That's apprehensive.
Now, did you find that like when you like writing down the specific notes, that was kind of like helping you place things, or no?
Yeah.
A little bit, for sure. So let's dive into it a little bit here. So 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. we checked off anxious and other, and you said you're feeling apprehensive.
Yeah, that's what I got up at 6, and then like I say, left at 7, and it was just every time I know I'm going out somewhere, I'm always anxious. It's just, still that way, and apprehensive. Like I say, I know that there's going to be a big crowd and that, because usually if I go out or something, it's to the store or someplace like that, and I'm anxious about that. But I know whenever I know it's a big thing like the Reds opening day parade and game, it's just apprehensive about. Wonder how this is gonna go, and I wonder, I hope everyone
goes smoothly. Yeah. Did you find yourself like getting out of your box like a little bit too much as you were thinking about like the future of that day?
Not really.
That's good. Now, what time did you end up like actually leaving?
Let's see. My wife's aunt came, and then we went over and picked her dad up, and it's 7:30 we left Franklin Furnace there. So
okay.
Got on double O. So.
Now I remember like when you first came in, we talked about you getting angry while on the road, and you drove the whole way up to Cincinnati, right?
Yeah.
How was the drive itself? I know you said you felt like from 8 a.m., which is after you had left, right? So between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m., you were on the way there. You checked off happy and anxious, and that you were in the car with your family. Did you experience any of the road rage or anything?
A couple times, but it wasn't not just kind of backed off. It was where people, for some reason, it's like you're invisible or something. They pull right out in front of you.
Yeah.
But just backed off and breathed. And
did you practice the breathing techniques that we were talking about? Check those. Check that off of our goals list. There we go. All right, awesome. So from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. we were driving to the Reds game. A little bit of anxiety, a little bit of anger with the road, but you're able to calm yourself down. Didn't yell or anything like that. Get out of the car with your baseball bat. Nothing to get you on Facebook, right? So from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. All we checked off was anxious, and there's no note. What was going on between there?
Just still driving on the way there, but as I probably should have checked off happy, but as we got closer there, it was more of the anxious, and that because we got there at I forget if it was 10:30 or 11. We got there. It was just driving there and getting closer. Was,
kind of start anticipating a little bit more.
Went fine also. Even getting into Cincinnati, because usually it's
I hate driving in Cincinnati
and Columbus.
It's horrid. I know you said like you and your like mother-in-law, you guys don't like hate each other or anything like that, no. But you guys kind of don't get along all the time.
Well,
And she went with you, right?
No.
Oh, I thought she went with you.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
No, it was my father-in-law's sister.
Oh, okay.
Him and my wife.
All right. You all get along pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's good. So there was really no tension between the people who were in the car or anything like that. Okay, that's my mistake. I'm sorry about
No,
that.
no. I was like, but I always try to get along with my mother-in-law. Sometimes she'll get in the mood or something, even with her
Mhm.
daughter. She's done the thing before about get out of here. I don't ever want to see you again. I don't know how many times she said that.
Oh, wow.
Then after a few days or a week or something, she'll call, can you all come over? Just like nothing happened. You know?
Mhm. How do you feel about that?
It's aggravating and it's frustrating. You just wonder why, you know,
Yeah.
why she's like that. But you know, she, like I say, she's actually calmed down quite a bit.
Really? That's good.
Mhm.
So there hasn't been as much like fighting or like the extremism, like I never want to see you again. When was the last time that happened?
Probably about 3 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Still gets
A little
in a
bit,
mood every now and then, but
a little bit cranky.
nothing like, yeah.
I hear you. Nothing that does it like does she like ever hurt your wife's feelings or anything like that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How do you feel about
really angry about that because she's, you know, told me before, you know, make sure nobody hurts Emily or make sure, how was it she put it? Mistreats her or anything. And then that was one of the times when she get out of here. I don't ever want to see you again. I forget, I kind of got, I said something that time or something. I forget, I said something about nobody upsetting her or hurting her or something, I guess, except you or something. She didn't take that. That's, but, you know, that's my wife. That
Yeah,
might be
sure.
her daughter, but that's, you know,
Yeah.
but she's, evidently she's been that way her whole life. I don't know, you know, why I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, my mother-in-law, so that's before I even, I guess I'd actually met him years and years ago because we go and visit the church, like fellowship meetings or something there, and I don't remember them, but evidently I'd seen them before, but I just, you know,
You made a pretty good impression on them.
guess so.
See, they already liked you before you even married their daughter. Let's go and tackle the rest of them. So we stopped at 10 to 12. Now we're at 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. and we clicked off anxious again. So what was going on between 12 and 2?
That was the parade that was, you know, when we was sitting up there along on the sidewalk with the parade, and I was just, you know, kind of watching it, and I was just with the crowd and that, you know, you get kind of, I guess I should put maybe nervous or something, but anxious is in there with.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just, you know, all these people, you know, just get kind of anxious or nervous or something. You know.
So tell me about like what was going on, like kind of like physically as you were like becoming more anxious.
I was myself, I was just kind of like now just bouncing my leg and but really I just tried to just sit there because we took our own chairs and that because we've been there many times before and know you need a chair if you're gonna watch everything. So,
for sure.
But I just tried to, you know, my wife's cousin came from down around Marysville there, and we met him there at the parade, and then, you know, we all had seats together, and but it was him, and then my wife's uncle-in-law, her ex-uncle, and I guess is her aunt, my father-in-law's sister died when she was in her 40s of cancer, and but my father-in-law, when we got back, he had my wife put the picture, we all got a picture together there, and he had her put it on Facebook with Paul Wilson, that's the father or uncle-in-law
Okay.
there, and he said something about family and mother-in-law. You call Paul Wilson family? I said, I don't know why she got,
Such a problem
against
with
Paul, but
yeah.
he said, well, yeah, he was his brother-in-law for however many. He still, we all still get along and everything. So that's
some irony is seeing that like family isn't always, like what's blood, I mean, like it's about the connections that you make, and especially if someone was that attached to your family for so many years, like it's hard to drop them just like that. Somebody considered pretty close before. Yeah. Now, did you find, like, as you said you were experiencing like the anxiety, like all these people around me, stuff like that, like did you find that anything in particular was kind of helping you calm down or stay in the moment?
Just talking to my wife or father-in-law or something, they'd say stuff, and I'd lean over, and then I got my phone, took headphones with me, and found some radio stations. Got the radio thing on there where I didn't realize that you can, if you find something, you push a little thing. It's just like a caller 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Has the pre-saves or whatever.
Yeah. So I found different stations and put them on there and listen to music and just kind of sit there and try to concentrate on the parade stuff or whatever, and not so much the people, and just
the music was helping.
Yeah,
that's good, because I remember we talked about using that. Like I like that you were able to think in the moments like I can listen to music right now, that'd be able to help.
Yeah,
like I've said before, being able to recognize the problem. It's really good that you're able to like, I'm feeling anxious now. I need to be able to do something about that. Those really good that you're already only a few sessions in and you're already learning like all these like coping and like recognizing when you need to be able to cope. That's really awesome. Hell yeah.
I don't know what was going on, but for like I say, I'm really in the 60s and 70s and that, and I had listened to Smoke on the Water or something just on the internet. I think it was on YouTube. I looked it up or whatever, and then I was sitting there, and for some reason I was humming it to myself or whatever, and then I put the music on, run across the station. I had Smoke on the Water on there, and then after I stopped listening, I had a band over on old Fountain Square over there, because we was here on the sidewalk. Fountain Square was just down the street, just a little bit across the street, and they started playing Smoke on. I thought, what in the world's going on here?
It's Inception. Yeah. You're trapped in the Matrix. Found a glitch. There. Okay, let's walk on to, let's see, let's go to 4 to 6 here, because we hit anxious, other, and you were annoyed.
Yeah, I didn't finish fitting everything because I didn't think there'd be enough room, but
that was the perfect time.
Yeah, we was in the stadium. It started at 4:10, I think it was. Actually, we was in there when they first opened the gates there, so we've been in there since 2:40, I think it was. I think they opened an hour and a half, and we got to our seats, and then we went, and father-in-law wanted something to eat, so we went and got stuff to eat and that, and then come back, and there wasn't anybody in the seats beside us. But then when time we got back, there was, and the fella, he was kind of a nice fella, older guy, but he had no sense of personal space and that, and I kept getting elbowed and shouldered, and he'd turn around and get his phone out, and there was, and kept, and we was rubbing shoulders the whole time, and I was leaned over here into my wife, and like I say, she's 5'6", maybe 100 pounds, so she don't take that much room anyway. But I was leaned over, but he still seemed like he just
kind of took up the negative
more
space.
Yeah. Because he kept elbowing me, and like I say, shouldering somehow, and do this or that, or turn around to talk to somebody behind us, or get his phone out of his pocket. Must have been left-handed, because he kept back here and getting everything. Man, this, they actually left there probably 6 or 6:30, so that's
Okay.
able to.
That's pretty good. So like during that time, were you because annoyed and angry are different emotions, you know what I mean? I see you didn't click mad or you didn't hit mad, which is good. So when you were annoyed, were you like feeling any like physical symptoms, or what was kind of going through your head?
This more of a wishing that he would lean over into his wife or something, or something, kind of get over, because like I say, but it was, I didn't say anything or any of that. I just kind of put up with it, and hoping that they decide to leave or something. But, but I don't know. Not really, like I say, I usually get out in the crowd and stuff, get a headache and that, and I just now realized I didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what's
So
up.
at home, I realized my neck was hurting again, where it kind of tensed up and everything, but not while I was there.
That's
I
awesome.
guess it might have been so much going on, didn't it?
Yeah.
But,
You're at a spot, you like baseball, I'm assuming you want to go today. So, you're at a place that you're watching a sport that you enjoy, you're with your family, and that's always a good time. You're able to just be in the moment for most of it, I'm assuming. Does that sound about right? Heck yeah. Maybe in the future, because like there's a fine line between like trying to like control the situation and setting up like healthy boundaries and stuff, even with like total strangers and stuff like that. Maybe in the future we can work on like some like assertiveness, if that, because not every day we're going to sit next to somebody and they're going to be nudging into us, you know what I mean? But like maybe in the future we can work on like it's like, hey man, you're kind of in my personal bubble right now. Like I'm not trying to be rude or nothing, just I would like a little bit of distance.
Which I realized too, it wasn't completely his fault, because I don't know if you've ever been to any stadiums or anything, to get seats
kind of
literally
small,
right up against each other, and you really know where to go. But like I was doing, I was leaning over.
You can expect some
but I
personal
still didn't.
You can expect a little bit of being too close, but not so much where he's elbowing you all the time and whatnot. I hear you for sure. Oh, we got our first mad. Tell me about hit a rabbit on the way home. And what's that last part? I can't see it from here.
Sick to my stomach. Actually, I got sick to my stomach here just as soon as it. Because it was on the double A on the way back. Like I said, I drive there and back, and that thing, fastest rabbit I ever seen. I tried to miss it because father-in-law said rabbit, and it's right in front of us over the time, but I swerved, but sometimes you'll see him sitting alongside the road, must have been back behind the guardrail or something, because it just literally, I thought, man, that thing's fast, not fast enough. Oh man.
Yeah.
And after losing Callie and stuff, especially, I don't, I've service dog, don't, like I say, I used to hunt and that, but I don't have the I don't know what you call it, desire or anything to kill anything now. I just, I hated that, and I knew it was an accident. Then in my head, I kept going over, what if we just maimed it? What if it's laying there screaming or something? Rabbits scream and everything. And or what if I just heard it? Or what if it's, but I'm pretty sure it's.
Yeah, because you're going pretty fast, right? How fast were you going? About
60.
About 60.
Yeah, it's 55, but I always either go 55, or if everybody's, which on the way there and on the way back, I thought, well, I'll go ahead and bump it up to 60, because going 60, people was tailgating and flying past us. I thought,
How long did you kind of like feel like kind of like mad and kind of upset about
it? Good hour. I just kept telling myself, what are you going to do about it? It was, couldn't help it. I tried to avoid it, because it didn't didn't run out and stop, but still running, and I was but it, it was just trying to get across the road, and we was just trying to get down the road, but it was just the timing, nothing could have done to avoid it. And
being able to realize that like most of like pretty much everything we experience in life is like totally out of our control. As much as we want to change, like even if it's like, I don't want to say it's simple, but even if it's you're driving on the road and you hit an animal, a rabbit, squirrel, what have you, it's easy to blame ourselves for things, especially when you've gone through something that's like particularly traumatic for you, like did Callie die of natural causes?
We had to have her put to sleep, and that's because her heart was so bad she'd take a couple steps and sit down, and she was panting all the time and thought maybe she was hot for some reason, but and because she'd had a couple strokes and that, and she'd had a seizure or two, and so we took her to the vet, and they said her heart was just said it sounded real bad, so it must have been, I'm not sure if it was congestive heart failure or what, because we was kind of gaining some weight there too, and she wasn't eating. She just had peanut butter was her favorite thing, and she liked, because I guess they train them with peanut butter and that, and she loved that, and carrots and green peppers and the vegetables, and also just all the other stuff dogs like. Nothing. She just turned her head there, and we took her there, and they said her heart was bad, so we just went ahead and like I say, I watched dogs die of accidentally getting run over and die of old age, and watched people die. I mean, both my grandpas, both of my grandmas, and I've seen people I know die, and just literally lay there and die. But it's something about like I say, just how Callie was. She just first time I'd ever seen a dog being put to sleep. That's when something clicked in my brain or something. It just all this started.
You were because you were really attached to Callie, right? You said you had her for what, 10 years? Or your wife had her for that long?
Yeah, wife had her for almost 13 years. Yeah. She'd only had me for 10 at that point.
Yeah, especially like because you feel not responsible, but like the fact that you're doing it, the fact that it's something that you could control, even though it was the best decision for her, that can still be really hard to come to terms with. I mean, death is a part of life, unfortunately, but it doesn't make it any easier. Especially animals, we're able to connect because animals are so innocent. They're pretty pure, and we can create these connections with them, like more so for some people a lot of times, more so than they could a human, just because there's that just natural aspect of them, like the unconditional love that they experience. You know what I mean? And she was an ESA, wasn't she? Emotional support animal.
No, she was service dog.
Service dog. For your wife's epilepsy.
Yeah, she's able to. That's why Callie's with Emily down at camp. There, Emily, they had the kennels and stuff around the room, and it was a big old room, and Emily sitting at one of the tables back there, and she could feel herself getting ready. She had like ours or something, like a warning forth that she got set down in the floor, and Callie was barking and carrying on, I guess, and they let her out. She ran over to Emily, so that's because she'd actually been through at least one class, I think, a group of people that they bring in. She never did match anybody, and that's why, because she's waiting on my wife to get there. And she actually sensed her seizures, and like I say, I've seen before, a good hour and a half before, my wife had generalized, or what they call grandma, or used to call grandma seizures. They changed the names sometimes. But Callie was barking and carrying on and that, and couldn't get her calmed down, and that's why.
Because she knew what was happening.
Yeah, she's gonna have a big seizure. She listen to me. Definitely listen to her after that.
Yeah, especially when you rely on an animal or something like that, or really, they're really more than an animal. They're part of the family, and like when you rely on somebody that heavily over something so important, it can like that connection that you gain with them is like it's special, really. Yeah, I can definitely understand the lasting effects of not having Callie around, for sure. What was the last time you really kind of had it like overwhelm you, the feeling of not having Callie?
Of course, every day you think, but overwhelmed, it's probably a couple months ago, probably.
Months ago. Okay. So you've been doing just a little bit better with it since then. That's good.
Like you say, it's what was best for her, because evidently she wasn't whining or anything, but evidently she was suffering, because like I say, she'd just take a step or two just barely and sit down, and it was evidently it was her heart, because she didn't have the strength to do what she used to, and she was almost 14 years old too, so that's but
yeah,
but it was like I say, it's just the feeling of everything that she'd done. And like you say, you get so attached to them. That's seeing them shirts out there. The more people I meet, the more I like my dog or whatever. But you get so attached to them, and then it's kind of like, well, you're bothered. We're done with you, and we'll go ahead and kill you. That's the way I kept feeling, like we just killed her. Well, we'll just throw you away. Which I know it wasn't, but it's just you get that in your head.
I don't know if I've told you this. I know I've told a few people this. There's a pretty big difference between understanding like logically and understanding emotionally. Because logically you can say, this is what was best for Callie, but emotionally you're like, you feel like the decision was rash and like, oh, now we just don't want you anymore. But that's not the case. You know what I mean? You loved Callie. Callie loved you guys. And at the end of the day, you were faced with two options. Either let her, not suffer anymore and go on with it, or let her keep around. And I don't think you wanted that.
That's what I kept saying to myself. Well, before we jumped into that, was there anything is there any treatment they could have done or anything, for her heart and that? But I don't really think there was.
14 years is a long time for a dog, especially she's had a good long life, Okay, before we end here, I want to go to 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. So happy, tired, and you're back home. So tired from the day, happy that you're back home pretty much. Yeah. So overall, let's say out of 10, 1 out of 10, how would you rate the day overall?
Probably a 6.
A 6, heck yeah. Now, in terms of stress, 1 out of 10, where would you put it?
Probably a 5, actually.
A 5.
I know before, talking to you and all the tips, things you gave me to help deal with that, it would have been a 10. It's always, for some reason, always been that way. Like I say, it's just, I don't know what it was. It was like
just knowing those few little tips and tricks have really and being able to get that off of your chest like that. Now, last thing I want to task you with is I want you to give me a feeling word about the whole day. 1 or 2 words to just describe the whole experience.
Satisfactory is probably not a very good word, but that keeps popping in my head.
If that's how you felt, that's how you felt.
Yeah, and can't think of the words.
I'm trying to cheat. Oh, shit. Yeah, the one paper I gave you with all the feeling words.
I should have. Contented, I guess.
Contented.
Or is that pretty much the same word? I forget.
No,
Already forget the same. The first
satisfactory
word.
satisfactory and content are 2 different things
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, you were okay with your day and you were felt satisfied with your day. Oh yeah.
Not say, before everything here and before you would be chaotic and
Mhm.
angry and anxious and
All of the
that.
above.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, my man. Also, I'm ecstatic that we got this, especially about that day, because that was such a good chance to document where we were at and such a big event that it really, I don't want to say it like put you to the test or anything like that, but just kind of saw where we were with everything. Especially like if you can do that at a Reds game, imagine what you could do at the grocery store. So man, you are able to like see your potential right now. You know what I mean? You're able to handle such a large social event to an amazing degree, honestly. Because anyone could get annoyed with old boy nudging you. But yeah, like you handled this day with such an amazing, with amazing coping skills. You're able to calm yourself down in situations. You're able to accept situations as they were. And at the end of the day, you're happy with it. That's what's up.
One of the things I realized, because you looked around, I looked actually down in front of us, and there's guys shoulder to shoulder. So I was like, he's not doing it intentionally. It's just, everybody's scrunched in here because they want to get as many, as they say, honeys in the seats or butts in the seats. They can make more money, that's
especially after COVID and all that. Yeah, for sure. Is there anything else you want to get off your chest before we close out today? Any questions or concerns?
Not that I can think of.
Awesome. All right, that's what's up, man. I'm gonna stop this right here.